I bought some more books and also a bread. Hello fellow mushroom people and welcome to this video. When I was holding up the bread, it crumbled and now my whole floor looks like I have to get out my vacuum cleaner. But anyways, I brought some books. I actually bought them yesterday and I couldn't film a haul yesterday because I was at a children's birthday party getting a tattoo and building some pirate ships. And it was not just some random child's birthday party, so I know the family. Don't be alarmed. I wouldn't just join any child's birthday party. But anyway, I bought some books and yeah, some of them were very much impulse buys because I have no self-control. Others I ordered ages ago and they just came in. And I just wanted to show them to you. So the first book that I bought is I think the English title should be The Red Pyramid. It's the first book in the Kane Chronicles by Riordan, who also wrote Percy Jackson. This one's an impulse buy. You know why I bought this? Because I was watching a speedrun of Lara Croft Tomb Raider and she was in Egypt somewhere and I was like, oh, I want to read a fantasy with a Egyptian setting, and that's the best thing I could come up with, and so I just bought it because I wanted some pyramids in my life, and I hope that I can get this from this book. And I've been reading quite a few middle grade books and I'm enjoying them. So they're so carefree and just fun books, and I read the Percy Jackson series and I thought they were fine. Okay, I'm not the most enthusiastic about Percy Jackson, but I think that Rick Riordan can weave an interesting story with some ancient mythology stuff, and that's why I am positive that I will enjoy this book. I know that I think some people don't like this trilogy as much as Percy Jackson, but I guess I will find out. So the next book that I bought is, I don't know how I came across this book. It's The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. Stuart Turton also wrote The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I read a few years ago, last year, the year before that. I don't know. I read it. And I liked it. I liked the concept of it. I did not like the reveal and the conclusion. I think the last third of the book just wasn't to my taste. But this one sounds quite interesting, and it's about a ship in the 17th century. And things happen, people die. It just sounded interesting, and also, I don't know if you can see that, maybe I will do it again. So the way that the cover is done, there are things that reflect the light in a certain way. It's just very, you can touch it and you can feel it, and I like that. I'm very easily pleased. But yeah, I thought that this looked very interesting, and I just wanted to pick it up because sometimes I like some mystery, and I like some mystery with a twist, and I think that's what Stuart Turton did in his first book, and I hope that he can bring it to this one too, and hopefully he can improve on the first book. So the next book I bought is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, the third book in the original Mistborn trilogy. I have read this book before, but I just wanted to have all three books in physical form, so I own the ebook as well. But I just want them on my shelf, and I want to reread the series, so I reread the first two books. And I think that I want to get into this in September, I think. And yeah, I really like those UK covers. They have this stylistic thing that I enjoy. I like how on the first cover she was so far away, and then in the World of Ascension she came closer, and now it's just a face in the camera. And yeah, I think it's nice, and I'm sorry for getting too close to the camera. So the next one is quite a curious book, because I don't think I would have that on my radar at all if it hadn't been some random circumstances. So some time ago, I was dropping off some of my older books at the library. They have this kind of flea market where people can drop off books and they sell them for €1. You can pay more. I think the money is collected for a good cause. So I was leaving some of my English books down there in the basement, because it's in the basement. And after that, I decided to take a look at what the library had to offer and if I might be interested in renewing my library card, because most of the books that I read, they don't have them. So yeah, I was going through the library and I came across a table dedicated to LGBTQ plus books, because at that time it was Pride Week in Hamburg. So the book I found was Aufzeichnung eines Krokodils by Miaojin. So this book is a bit older, and it's by a Taiwanese author who herself was a lesbian during the time the story takes place, in the 1980s, where loving a woman is forbidden for women. And so this book deals with all those problems that women at the time had, I think, if they loved women. And I think that's quite a different angle from most queer stories that we would get here in the global north. And that's why I just had to buy it, because I want to find out what those people had to deal with. And I think it sounds really interesting. And I had never heard of this book before. And it says on the back that in Asia it's quite iconic, so I have to check it out. So the next book that I bought, I have to admit, I bought because the cover is gorgeous. And I won't apologize for it, because gorgeous covers do have a place in our society. And that book is Absent for the Wild Build by Becky Chambers. I have to admit that I'm not the biggest Becky Chambers fan. I read the first book in the Wayfarer series, and I thought it was okay, but I did not continue on with the series because it wasn't quite my cup of tea. From what I've heard about this book, it's about a monk who is traveling around and doing stuff, and then they meet a robot. I think. I don't know that much, but I'm really excited because from what I've seen, it sounds interesting and the cover looks so good. And it doesn't matter how much I like it or don't like it, this book I will keep forever. Because who could give away such a gorgeous looking book? I can't. I most certainly can't. It's just so I just want to look at it all day. How is this so pretty? Ah, I love it. I wanna marry it. So the next book I bought took its sweet time to get to my bookstore. I think I waited like a month or two for this book to arrive. And it better be worth it. So this book is Midnight Water City by Chris McKinney. I already started reading it. I'm not that far in. I just got it yesterday, so I didn't read that much of it. It's about a murder investigation in an underwater city. So it takes place on Earth, but 100 years in the future. And I thought that this concept was really cool. And I have to admit, the cover reminded me a lot of BioShock, the video game, which also takes place in an underwater city. So I'm a sucker for BioShock, and I had to buy it just because of that. The final book that I bought is The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich, which is weird for me to say because her last name is very German sounding, and me pronouncing it this kind of English way feels super wrong. But I guess that's how her name is pronounced. This is also the German edition, if you couldn't tell from the title. And I saw this book on someone else's haul, and I thought it sounded interesting. I think it deals with Native Americans, but I don't know too much about it, and I don't really want to know too much about it, because I'm very interested to find out. And I think it won the Pulitzer Prize, so it should be good, right? So that's all the books I bought. And from now on, I will be on a book buying ban. No more books for me, because I've bought way too many and I have to stop for now. Also, my shelf is full, and I should get to the books that I already own before I buy any new books, right? It only makes sense. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again when I talk about some of those books instead of just showing them to you and saying that I bought them.